Are all the gradable raw cards finally running out? Welcome to Solemn YuGiOh channel where we discuss everything collecting and investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, this is a topic I really wanted to discuss because it has some serious implication on this whole, raw hunting strategy type of deal where you buy raw, try to grade and then either flip or put it in your collection for a profit. Grading has become such a phenomenon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, especially in the 2020, 2021 era where, all the graded cards are big stonks and the modern cards are like, okay. So this has made it so most sellers with large inventories are now just grading themselves, knowing that the cards will be way more expensive than, if they just sold them raw. This makes it so that if you're currently going on eBay or on TCG Player or on Card Market or on really any platform whatsoever, and you're looking for near mint or mint, which is what you're really looking for, do you have to ask yourself the question, why is this seller selling this card raw in the first place? Do they think it's not gradable, or do they just not know about grading, or do they feel that, it's just gonna take too long? Because if it's the latter, if it's just gonna take too long to get the card back, sure, you might still be getting a good mint deal. But it's also possible that it's one of the former two options where they're just already knowing that it's not gonna be a 9 or a 10, and then they can just sell raw for basically the same price as what they would get on a 7 or an 8 or whatever, without having to do the waiting and paying the grading fee and taking all of those extra risks and steps. That really changes things for you, because you gotta ask yourself, is it still worth to raw hunt in the first place? Me personally, I haven't been buying as many raws as I did last year. Last year, while a lot of the big stuff was already gone, Mint LOB and Mint MRD was basically a unicorn. But very often I would still find plenty of really good deals. I would find something like a MRL relinquished minty for $70, which was great for me. I could find maybe a Change of Heart, actually MRD minty for also $70. I would find Serpent Knight Dragon, also MRL, for $40. And so I would find a variety of cool minty raw cards where I knew, wow, this is a good deal. I will grade this, it will probably grade well. I'm gonna be a happy boy. But now I just don't find such deals anymore. Obviously the market has changed, so prices should be a little higher on these raws as well. But I don't even find cards that are a little higher. They're just not out there. They're always already damaged or, ridiculously upcharged to a point where the risk reward doesn't even justify it anymore. And this was something that was already the case for quite a while in Pokemon, I feel. Sure, sometimes you'll find a deal. Sometimes you'll find that one binder with that one fancy card that's still in immaculate condition that you can still grade. But those are the outliers. Those aren't the rule. I feel like right now, I think I have to put in 10 times as much effort as I did last year in actually finding gradable cards. And that kind of forces you to ask the question, does the strategy still work? I think it works, but I think you have to start completely changing your perceptions and your assumptions about that strategy. It is really, really not as easy anymore. Will I still check? Absolutely, because it's worth it to me and it's fun. I like that chase, I like that thrill. But is the trick still alive? I don't think so. Not in the same way. One thing you do consider is maybe there are pockets of the market where it hasn't played out yet. And that is the very important one. I think that's going to be the solution to this. Everyone is now so aware of LOB, MRD, and so forth. Like, everyone is. You can't get around that. It is the stuff everyone knows. And then there's other sets that people are now more aware of. So finding PSV, like a Jinzo or some MRL stuff, good luck. It's really hard. MRL is probably a bit easier, but there's other sets out there that are much harder now. But there are pockets of the market where it's maybe still possible, pockets that aren't played out yet, that aren't as efficient yet, if you're looking at it from a efficient market hypothesis or something like that. Not that that really works in a market like these. Collectibles generally are pretty inefficient because the information surrounding these markets just isn't as symmetrical as it may be in, flash trading and then all the algorithms playing all the time, because there's actual billions, playing itself out, trillions actually even. So that's a very different world. You can speak of, efficient markets way more easily there than in collectibles, which is also why a regular dude might be able to make some solid money in collectibles, because there's these inefficiencies that can still be played out. But so as more attention and productivity and money is thrown at something in these markets, they tend to become slightly more efficient. And so you're basically trying to look for pockets in the market that aren't that. But you also need to be aware that why are those pockets like that? Because if a pocket isn't fully played out yet, maybe it's because there's zero demand for it. And so you do have to watch out with, buying a bunch of raws that no one gives a single shit about to then grade it and hope that you can still flip for arbitrage or hold for arbitrage, whatever you want to do. There still needs to be a solid reason for it, but to give you a solid example, there's probably way more solid gradable GX cards out there than there are from LOB. Now, is there less demand there? Yeah, but maybe it's still worth it. And that is basically the kind of pocket that I'm talking about. And I'm not telling you to go buy all the GX. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying use your head and find spaces that aren't as played out yet. That doesn't mean you now have to ignore fucking LOB, obviously. But it does mean that, if you aren't finding minty gradable cards there might be a solid reason for it. It might be because there's 30,000 other people also looking for them. This is also why I'm still a big fan of just buying graded even though there's premiums on them. Of course, being well aware that you are in a very risky speculative market and that it's entirely possible that things retrace. But yeah, those are basically my views on that. I think that your strategy should really be changing if you are looking for that raw grading flip kind of game, because it has gotten much, much harder. I know there's a lot of people who are also like, oh, this should have gotten a 10, this card was a 10. I used to get all these 10s and now I don't. And some people claim that that's because PSA and BGS have gotten harsher. That's possible, but I also think a big portion of that is people used to be able to find a lot of mint cards because they were so plentiful, because that grading game wasn't fully played out yet. And now we are getting to a point where it is far more played out. So you just don't find the minty ones as well anymore. If you're buying cards that look good and gradable, maybe they already were in a slab at one point and were cracked out, or maybe they were inspected very closely by a store owner who already basically did what you're trying to do, and now you're being duped in the sense that you're buying something that you think you'll be able to grade and that person already checked and it's not. Of course, there are still the gems and I will be looking for them, and the 30,000 other people are also looking for them, and that makes it exciting, that chase, that little battle and that competition, that's fun. But you also got to be realistic of your expectations of that market now that is being played out more. Hope you found it interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.